Welcome back to our podcast.
Welcome to the Buzzin Bunch.
So, we are Brainwave. Actually, our podcast is called the Buzzin Bunch. However, we want to have a special announcement today, and we are no longer Brainwave Radio, but we are right now Brainwave Media. So, yeah, that's our rebranding, and we're gonna do some podcasts today. So I'm your host for today, Ferga Deswaga Zuhri. I am the head announcer, and with me I have Ka.
Wulan dan Kusumo.
So I believe you are from the SASC department.
Yes, I am.
So today we are having a collaboration between Brainwave and SASE, and this today's episode of our podcast we're gonna discuss regarding online dating. So let's move on to our next segment. So Kawulan,
Yes.
have you used any sort of dating apps beforehand?
Oh, in my younger days, of course. I think dating apps are really developing nowadays,
Yeah.
yeah. But during my time, I don't know if you guys have heard, there was a social media called Friendsters and MySpace, and even at that time, it was a way to reconnect with people, and well, if you are lucky and finding yourself someone to match with or someone to go on a casual date, well, that would be a nice bonus. But I understand that nowadays there are many numerous different platforms, and I think it's trending within your generations.
Yeah, that's right. So I mean, obviously technology is always advancing towards the future,
True, true.
and it's always better than the one before.
Right.
And but sometimes progressing into the future isn't considered too good. Because I have another question for you. So do you have like personally maybe like good or bad experiences while using dating apps?
I mean, again, in my younger days, I wasn't as knowledgeable as today, because at that time, no one, told me exactly what are the do's and don'ts, what are the red flags that you need to watch out for. I had to learn. I made mistakes, and therefore, I think it's essential for us to have these conversations because, yes, the fact that dating apps is a good platform for people who are embarked in the journey to find intimate relationship, but it is also important to ensure safety. Because we want to find something good, but there's always a risk of that. So I think it is what we need to talk about today about what are the things that we should be aware of, what are the red flags, what do you need to watch out for, mostly like the safety tips, behavior for online dating apps.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Kawulan, because nowadays online dating or dating apps in general have like a negative stigma amongst them because like they're obviously in some cases, you know, they don't seem appropriate or whatnot, or maybe can be dubbed as controversial. So, in your opinion, why do you think that dating apps have a bad impression amongst some people, and do you think those allegations are rightful?
Well, benefit of the doubt, of course. Some people actually land a good experience, not necessarily ending up in a more serious commitment or anything, but a few casual dates for you to expand your knowledge upon intimate relationships is always good. But of course, it has its perks. There are also people out there who does not necessarily use their real identity. They're out there to catfish you, to honey trap you, to lure you for money, etc., etc. So, like everything else, it's always two sides of the coin. I've heard some success stories about finding the one through dating apps, but I also heard some series of unfortunate stories of, well, meeting terrible people, scary people, creepy people, But some also had fun experiencing meeting casual dates and help expand their network and horizons as well.
Yeah, I guess so. Dating apps are quite maybe it kind of depends on luck or on the person maybe, but then again, you have to be cautious, safety and aware,
Right.
and also be assertive.
That's why there's when you set your profile, for example, there are several steps that you probably need to watch out for. For example, always use a distinctive pictures, not the one that you use for your other platform handles, for example, so that people does not necessarily able to track you easily should you not wish your real identity published or something like that.
So yeah, so I agree with you. And right now, there's always two conventional ways, which is traditional meetings, face-to-face meetings,
Right.
and or using dating apps. So,
True.
if you were to choose, what would you prefer, traditional meetings or dating apps of finding in terms of finding love?
In terms of finding love, it's always good to have that direct experience because behind the screen, beneath the mask, you can pretend to be anything. It's an alter world. You can always create your alter ego. You don't have to be yourself, but when you are in person, which I think is also very difficult because you have to make eye contact, you have to respond, sometimes you mimic gestures, sometimes you have to reciprocate, sometimes you also have to be in uncomfortable situations, etc. And I think that's actually still very important should you want to move forward with intimate relationships. A long distance relationship, much less digital ones, just not necessarily able to provide you with the vibes of warmth, direct communications, discomfort, etc. Everything that you need to actually feel when you're in a relationship. So ideally speaking, of course, meeting in person would always be my first go-to. But of course, with current situations, we also have to adapt to the advancement of technology.
Yeah, I completely 100% agree with you. I think traditional meetings are, if I were to choose, I would also choose traditional meetings, but then again, there is the opportunity to use dating apps, so I mean, why not use them?
Right.
And I guess it all depends on the person. Maybe some feel comfortable, using dating apps, or maybe some may feel comfortable using traditional meetings. So
Right.
I guess it all depends on the person.
I think the perks with digital format is that you have an opportunity to desensitize. Direct meeting would require lots of energy, lots of courage. But for some people who are shy or introvert, meeting online would help them to ease themselves into the actual meeting eventually.
All right, so I think that concludes for our first segment. And right now we're gonna take a break because it's the holy month of Ramadan. So we'll be right back with you guys. So stay tuned. Welcome back to our podcast, so the Buzzin Bunch. So we just had a break for our iftar, breaking our fast. So now we're done breaking our fast and time to resume for our podcast. So we're gonna move on to our next segment. So it's talking more towards the app, specifically Bumble. So Kawulan, you have tried Bumble before, or?
Actually, that one I have never tried, but I heard it's very famous among people of your generations. So yeah, what's special about Bumble?
So Bumble, I guess it's, I mean, in terms of dating apps, the only thing that's probably like the monopoly or the market leader of dating apps, the two apps would come in mind would probably be Tinder or Bumble. What makes Bumble different is that usually the girls chat towards the boys first.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
the first initiative should come from the girl.
Yeah.
I see.
And I don't know, for some reason I think in my personal opinion the vibe of Bumble is more like casual compared to Tinder, which is really in your face. I don't know how to describe it,
Huh.
but for me at least the atmosphere of Bumble is more casual. Maybe it's because of the colors or whatnot. So, but have you ever ventured into like a specific dating app before?
Uh, well, I tried Tinder. I've never tried Bumble, and so I cannot say for I will not be able to compare. Yeah, but I understand that people in Tinder, based from my experience, can be pretty direct, and that I don't know, it's probably just my experience, but they're not necessarily interested in conversation, but just, jump right to the point, which for me, it's becoming a little bit too intrusive. Because, of course, when you match with someone, you want to have a casual conversation first and see if you have a chemistry, see if you have shared interests and such. And if not, then, you should be okay to just, maybe it was a match for a reason, but apparently when we explore further, it's not the way we should move forward. But yeah, in Bumble, I just learned that the girls can. It has to be the girls yang apa namanya yang say
Approach.
hi first.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about that mechanism?
I think for me, well,
Jadi I ask you back. It's okay.
yeah, no, it's fine. It's completely fine. It's a sharing session,
I'm
so
interviewing you now.
yeah. Well, for me at least, I mean, I played Bumble for like just like iseng.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, for me personally, I'm quite a shy person. So I mean, having the girl approach me first is quite relieving.
Okay.
Like the burden is
So you
like,
don't have to make the first step.
yeah, and but most of the time, well, it depends on the person, and then
Right.
again, that's the ultimate factor. But most of the time, they just say hey, so it's technically not a first move. But after that, we just have like conversations. But then again, you have to be wary because of the catfish and etc. But I guess Bumble is just like I said before, it's much more friendlier, I guess. Of course, you're gonna encounter those odd ones, but
Creepy. You can say the word.
yeah, creepy odd ones, but no, I do agree with you. I think Tinder is quite more direct, and it's just more like in your face. I don't know how to describe it. So
Right.
I'm gonna ask you another question actually. Do you think like Tinder has any like specific advantages compared to other applications maybe?
Well, for one, it's right on your face, like you said. So for people who likes being direct, to the point, that might be of advantage. Cut the BS and just get to the point.
Yeah.
But for many who would prefer to be desensitized, because when you're meeting a new person, it requires a lot of energy. You would want to, take it slow, especially when you happen to have a few chat windows open at the
Yeah.
same time, and you have to manage your energy between one person and another, and you would like to, take it slow. And I think it would be annoying, if not rude, if someone just say something a little bit too direct to someone that you don't know, unless it's a person that you are already familiar with. Again, being direct and rude are two different things. So if it's direct, like, oh, apparently I don't think we match, we don't share same too many similarities or interests,
Yeah.
and maybe we shouldn't match, fine. But people would like to, give it a chance. Have a little conversation first, get to know each other first. But maybe that's not what Tinder citizens are about.
Yeah. So maybe some of our listeners are interested in maybe trying online dating apps such as Tinder or Bumble. So in your opinion, are there any like specific tips or tricks for those who are going to start a new account on those type of dating apps?
Perhaps limiting the informations that you want to share. Like, for example, it would be nice to display your profile as an avid reader with a passion towards sorry, cats, for example, and talk to me about spicy food. Talk to me about music concerts. It would be nice to give people a clue. Maybe I should drink. Hang on. It would be nice to give people a clue about how to approach you. You know, here's the thing. People need to be educated on how you want them to treat you.
Yeah.
So you give them clues. Talk to me about this, talk to me about that, these are my interests, etc. What I think should not be done is, one, reveal your real name, because there's no guarantees that our people are also using their real names. Two, you do not disclose private information like where you live, where you go to school, who your friends are, etc. So do not post a picture of you with a group of friends. You never know. And besides, it's your profile, your account. Let's not drag your friends into it. And also, perhaps you need to be cautious when it's someone is too soon to use the words of endearment, to feel intimate with you, or to ask you to meet up immediately. You know, those are what I would say red flags that you need to watch out for, because any healthy, normal relationship doesn't have a fast forward button.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I was gonna say regarding the name thing. Surprisingly there are a lot of people that don't use their real name on these apps, and it was quite, for me, it was like, striking, because
Right.
I was thinking like, oh yeah, that's right, that's a good move actually, but I didn't think about that. So I guess it's for the listeners as well. They can be more educated. So there are several tips and tricks, and yeah, don't disclose too much information. Try to be as secretive as possible, unless when you maybe like already find out who the person truly is in their form, and I think you can take it away from there. But still, you should be very
Even so,
cautious.
even if you meet that person in real, I think, and you go for a few casual dates with that person, I think you still need to be careful. Like,
Yeah.
for example, does he have friends? Does he bring you to see his friends, for example? Is he being secretive? Is he can only be accessible during certain times of the day, etc. Use your instincts,
Yeah.
because your instincts is a compilation of previous experience, positive or negative. So when your instinct says something is not right, probably because something is.
So yeah, I think that is for in terms of our tips and tricks. So for any one of you that wants to explore your chances on dating apps, you can go out there. But then again, be careful and be very wary. So Kaulan, if you don't mind me asking, would you be able to share your first line or any sort of, quote unquote lines that to send that has actually worked in the past? Like, like maybe like a pickup line or so.
Oh, pickup line.
Yeah.
It's been years. Let's see if I'm still at it. Hi there. Black or white?
Am I supposed to answer that, or?
If you want.
I'll choose black.
Cats or dogs?
Neither.
Spicy, non-spicy?
Spicy.
Sate ayam, nasi goreng?
Ooh. I'll choose nasi goreng.
I just made you talk more than yes or no.
Oh.
In a non-threatening, non-intimidating
Yeah.
way. It's also a way to get to know you. Now I know that you like black, same as me, and that you can't decide whether nasi goreng or sate ayam, and no furry friends for you, at least not cats or dogs.
Yeah.
In that short initiatives, I was able to gather an information from you, but nothing too personal that it's not making you feel threatened about it.
Yeah. So I think that's a very interactive, simple, brief, engaging way to get to know someone. Just by like a mere 3 words, you can already know so much of a person. Well, a little bit of a person, but I think that's a very good conversation starter. And as for me, you shouldn't ask me because I'm not good at pickup lines. Most of the time, I just do dad jokes. So don't ask me at all. So now we're gonna move on to our exciting part of this podcast, and we're actually gonna read some confessions that
Ooh.
were sent out by anonymous people through our Instagram account. So you can follow an Instagram account on Brainwave Media, and let's get to it.
Let's go.
Let's read. Welcome back, guys, to the Buzzin Bunch. And today, right now, we have a special guest. So can you please introduce yourself?
Oh, hi. My name is Brian Jordan. I'm Binosian 24. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Brian Jordan. So now we are in part of our segment, which is reading out our confessions. So without further ado, let's progress. So this is the first confession from our Instagram. So let's read it together. So there ada dekat sama cewek dulu inisial L di Bumble, belum apa-apa udah ngajak ketemuan yang hahaha. Pas ditanya-tanya, katanya anak binus baru masuk tahun 2020. Pas ditanya student ID-nya B25 atau B26, bilangnya B26. Ya, padahal harusnya B24 karena ketahuan bohong, langsung uninstall Bumble dia. Oke. So, what do you think?
Miss mau duluan?
Dulu aja.
Iya. Gimana ya? Ini menurut saya agak aneh ya. Karena saya adalah veteran Bumble dan Tinder dan semacamnya ya. Ini nggak masuk akal gitu loh. Gimana, Miss?
Loh, apanya nggak masuk akal?
Iya. Oh iya. Oh. Ya maksud saya nggak masuk akal lah karena ya agak doesn't make sense aja gitu, Miss.
Makanya
Jadi
nggak
dia
bohong
dia
gitu kali ya.
bohong buat menunjukkan kalau dia tuh Venusian, ternyata bukan, kan malu, Miss ya. To the bone, iya, Miss.
Udah ada.
Oh, udah ada. Oh, iya.
Jadi gimana, Kak?
Iya, makanya jangan bohong. Maksudnya kita nggak usah share detail information tentang diri kita. Tapi hati-hati juga kalau ngaku-ngaku, taunya ketemu sama orang yang beneran punya identitas kayak gitu, terus kecele sendiri. Thanksin kan?
Mungkin dari saya kayak orangnya tuh memaksakan untuk merelate, jadi biar ada cari bahan omongan yang sama tapi ternyata tidak.
Iya.
So, for our next confession, this person said, I met like 14 guys at Bumby, I think that's Bumble, but late reply all the time. So, screw Bumble, real life guys be better, stay safe from crocodiles atau buaya. Hashtag peace girls.
Okay.
To be honest, I don't really understand this one. But 14 guys at Bumble, but reply all the time.
I feel sad for the crocodile.
I don't.
Soalnya kan crocodile is actually a monogamous creature.
Yeah.
They mate for life. I don't know what happened to the pejorative meaning towards crocodile sampai bisa distigmatized as playboy. Poor crocodile.
Your opinion, Bri?
For my opinion,
The crocodile is too green.
well, this is kind of weird. I was never known as a a crocodile or some sort. But to relate to the guys, man, equality, man. Equality. I mean, this is far from equality, man.
I guess that's it for this confession. So I guess we move on to the next one. So this third confession, this person said, one time a girl chat me in Bumble to join her for a Bali trip. So everyone who joined can split the bills equally. There's a lot of weird confessions here, to be honest. I don't really understand this one. How about you, Kak? Do you understand this one?
I think so. It's probably that she wants to go to Bali, but looking for sponsors.
Ah, I see.
Sponsors. Oh, yeah. Well, maybe this girl wants to go to Bali, but she doesn't have enough cash, so she is trying to. Lo mau ikut nggak? Gak apa-apa. Nanti kamar berdua aja gitu. Dan ujung-ujungnya kayak gitu, which is not a good thing. It's a bad thing, people. Don't do that.
I agree. So next, this person said, I had an old friend that I knew from this class, and we met again through Bumble. He invited me to a party with all his friends and made a move on me. We talked about going on more dates, and turns out the whole time dia lagi PDKT-in gua. Dia ada cewek yang dia putus nyambungin dari temennya, and he's younger. Sick face emoji. I mean, it depends. It depends on the person, but I don't think being younger isn't necessarily a bad thing. I don't think it's something to, be sick about. But I mean, in the end, I guess people have their own opinions. How about you, Kak?
Age has nothing to do with wisdom.
I agree.
So either that person is a good person or a bad person.
Nice statement, Kak. Nice statement. So, for myself, I mean, being younger doesn't mean you don't have. I mean, you lack the knowledge of being mature. Kan bisa aja orang-orang yang lebih tua aja ada yang lebih immature gitu kan. Jadi kayak ya age doesn't really define kalau kita udah
Mature.
when we already fall in love gitu.
Alright, so I mean, I guess this part, dia ada cewek yang putus nyambung is quite a big no-no in this case. But other than that, yeah, I guess.
I mean, don't join anyone else's circus.
Yeah, don't adu domba or whatever. So next please. So this person said, waktu itu gue deket sama cewek Bumble, udah ngobrol tuh sempet mau skydive. Terus sebelum deket sama dia sempet sayang banget sama ada anak binus satu. Tiba-tiba pas udah mau ketemuan sama si cewek Bumble, cewek binus ini balik lagi. Gimana kalau udah sayang banget? Ya udah cewek Bumble-nya aku ghosting aja.
Ini contoh
Semangat langsung
dari
respon.
ini contoh dari seorang krokodil yang kita bilang sebelumnya ya. Karena cewek tuh bukan objek yang bisa kita mainkan gitu loh. Objek tuh beda dengan perempuan. Perempuan tuh makhluk hidup gitu loh. Objek tuh makhluk mati gitu kan. Jadi kayak tidak untuk dimainkan gitu. Kan kalau kayak gini kan kasihan gitu kan ya Miss ya. Kasihan.
Gimana pendapat Miss?
Tadi Kak, sekarang Miss.
Maaf.
Itu nama panjang Miss Anderson. Kita mesti normalize ini ya, closure gitu ya. Kalau emang nggak mau lanjut, then it's okay. Just say that, look, I don't think I'm ready for a commitment. I don't think this is where I want to be in. Apa adanya aja, karena people fall in love, people fall out of love. Very normal. But what's not nice is leaving people with questions unanswered.
I agree 100%.
So if you don't want to be in whatever relationship itu lagi, just
give out
say,
an answer, I guess. Yeah.
give an answer. I'm sorry, I cannot continue with this. I know you might be hurt or anything, but I think it's better to say it now. Sorry.
Yeah.
Of course, you'll get negative reactions and everything. But who wouldn't be upset kan,
Yeah.
if it's in that position? But normalizing giving closure is one of the kindest thing you can do in a relationship that no longer works.
Yeah. So I agree. Next one please. So this person said cuma mau confess aja. Gue sayang banget sama lo, tapi lo susah orangnya, terlalu susah. Gue kurang apa sih? Sadar dong kalau gue masih nungguin lo sampai hari ini.
Ini terlalu dalam ya untuk diperpanjangkan ya. Cuman dari intinya kita tahu ada cowok yang sedang berjuang gitu ya untuk mendapatkan hati dari ceweknya itu. Mungkin cowoknya kurang memikat. Ini bro, saran dari gua nih. Lu coba ubah how you look aja bro. Mungkin dengan cara itu cewek bakal kayak kecantol gitu. Tebar jarang dulu aja bro. Tebar apa jarang.
Tahu dari mana cowok?
Iya.
Oh iya iya.
Siapa itu?
Ya pokoknya kalau nggak cewek cowok lah gitu aja. Gitu aja, simpel bro.
Gimana kak?
Susah. Ini kan orang ya, bukan Rubik ya. Satu, complicated banget.
Iya sih.
Kalau suka bilang aja suka. Jawabannya kan cuma dua. Diain atau ditolak.
Yes.
Selesai urusan. Tapi ini kan prolonging your own suffering. Masih nungguin sampai hari ini. Apakah yang bersangkutan yang ditaksir ini seorang ahli nujum yang bisa membaca other people's mind? Barangkali ya, makanya the confession. But if not,
Yeah, I guess it's a sticky situation, so whoever it is, stay strong. So next, this person said, gua pernah ketemu cewek di Bumble, hampir doing that quote-unquote stuff, but later on, found out that she's my old friend's mom.
Any comment?
I'm sorry.
this is awkward.
I think if I speak, I'm in big trouble, so I would rather not speak.
Pass.
Awkward. I mean, if that person turns out to be your friend's mom, let's not meddle.
Yeah, that
Imagine
was
the awkwardness.
that was yo, that was deep. I'm sorry, can't give you any more opinions, but yeah, I think that just stays there in it. So next, next confession is that this person said, gua ketemu cowok dari Bumble terus langsung cabut night drive and we even hung out with my friends at this club. Then the next day dia langsung ngajak gereja bareng. P.S. He kept texting me for a while after I told him I didn't want anything serious. Ooh, I think I think everything is moving a little too fast for me, in my opinion. And as this person mentioned, that this person told him that they didn't want anything serious, but the person kept texting him or her. I think that's quite over excessive, and I don't think that's really a proper way to treat this person.
Well, for me, this guy really have a work life balance. The night they go clubbing, the other day this guy asked the girl to go to church with him. Well, and let's move that side. Yeah, for me it's the same karena it's moving a little too fast. Iya, kalau ceweknya nggak mau ya lu mundur aja bro, sadar diri bro.
How about you, Ka? Do you have the same opinion as us?
Bumble or not, this is an issues of boundaries. Even if you're in a relationship, you should not force someone to do something that they are not comfortable
Yeah.
with. There's a concept called consent, so it has to be approved. So even if it's, for example, going to church, you cannot force that. What if that person is not practicing? What if going to church is always that person's me time, and that person does not like to share it with other people, particularly new ones? And no means no.
Yeah.
So yes means yes, no means no. Not replying means no. Changing your mind means no. Confused means no. Silent means no. So there's a lot of things that you should consider when someone is not directly saying yes. Even if they say yes at the beginning and then they change their mind, then you should not force what you want. This is boundaries, this is consent, and this is the fundamental of every relationship if you want to have a balanced relationship.
Yes, I definitely respect
Can I
the.
add something else?
Oh yeah, sure. Why not?
Jadi bro, hubungan tuh adalah saling saling timbal balik gitu loh bro. Jadi kalau misalnya lu gas nih, terus ceweknya ngerem lu, ya lu harus ngerem juga bro. Gak boleh kayak lu gas terus kayak ntar jadi ceweknya ilfeel gitu.
Yeah, definitely, definitely respect consent and clarification. So, I guess we move on to the next one. So, oh no. So one time I met this guy on Bumble, and on the first conversation we had, he sent me a
Dick pic.
yeah.
I said it out loud. Red flags, red flags.
Nah, that's a major L, bro. Like
Run,
raw.
run.
No. That is unacceptable. I think we all have the same. We have all the same conclusion. I think we're all on the same page right here, right?
I mean, that's first conversation, and straight to that. Run, Forrest, run.
Okay, next. So we have another one. Jadi ketemu cowok di Bumble and it was going great and our personalities match. So we moved out conversation to WA, WhatsApp. After a while, our conversation became aneh gitu and eventually he confessed some weird ass things to me, like not safe for work things. Safe to say, it didn't continue talking to him. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, no, miss?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're not comfortable, look, we're not going to judge whatever people's decisions is going to be, but you should come first when talking about online dating. Your safety should come first, and any first sign of discomfort, any first sign of you feel that you're not safe, you ditch. Period. You don't have to feel bad about being rude or anything. The other guy or the other girl does not necessarily feel the same way about you.
Yeah, so what I can get from this, I think everything again is moving too fast. So
Safety first.
Safety first, and be very wary and cautious about your surroundings. Do you want to add anything, Bray?
Same thing.
Same thing?
Same thing.
All right. So we're gonna. This is the last one. So yeah. So this is the last one. So we apologize if we offend anyone, but we just give our opinions. So everyone has their own opinions, and yeah, we are sorry if you are offended. So I think that concludes for the confession part of this segment. So thank you, Bray. Thank you for your opinions.
Thank you for having me, guys. I'm so glad that I have the opportunity to tampil di sini. Makasih ya.
Sama-sama, Bray. All right, so moving on to our next segment. This is the last part of our podcast. So we just heard some confessions from those people, and before moving on to another topic, how do you feel after reading these confessions? So is there any like sort of opinions you want to give as a whole, Bray?
Oh, sesuai urut kaca, sesuai umur ya. Reading from the confessions just now, I think those are very courageous people, sharing their experience. And looking back at those confessions, I think our conversations tonight is very important because first thing first, fundamental of dating online should be safety. Well, not just dating online, any types of relationship, the fundamental should be safety, consent, and boundaries. Because if we don't appreciate consent and boundaries, it means that we do not look at our partners as equal. It will be like we feel like we can do what we want to them, and they have to always agree to what we think about something. Not the case. We don't want that kind of unhealthy relationship. So understanding consent, understanding boundaries, and particularly for dating online, I think it's also very important to understand and watch out for the red flags to ensure that your dating online experience is actually giving you the fun experience that you're looking for.
Yeah, I think that's a very wise overall opinion, I guess. And how about you, Brian? Do you have anything else to add?
Well, for me, kalau buat cewek ya bisa bedain mana yang serius, mana yang enggak. Kalau buat cowok ya lebih ke jangan terlalu act like you want that, tapi you kayak you know what I'm talking about, right? Right?
Be explicit lah.
You want to explain more, maybe? So I guess it just maybe what you meant is like you have to define your standards. You have to be clear from the very start. Is that like maybe what you mean? Yeah, I think I agree because sometimes like not being clear, it's probably gonna drag both individuals, and I think clarity, composure, and just I think it's both of them is something that's very important as well. So yeah, I guess that concludes for that confession review, and we're gonna move on to some other questions before we end this. So one question that I would like to ask to you is, what do you think are the chances of forming long-term relationships, or yeah, long-term relationships to dating apps?
It's very possible. I know a person directly who had a successful experience finding his wife. It's not Bumble or Tinder. It's called satipe.com. I don't know if it still exists now, but they went through a meticulous screening process. Like, they have to fill out certain psychological testing,
Okay.
like giving their CV, ID cards. You may feel like, wow, it's a lot. But again, the platform was trying to ensure that people who are there are the serious ones who are looking for long-term relationships and not catfishing, not honey trapping, or nothing funny or creepy. That's why they ask for clarity in terms of identifications, and the meticulous screening process that they had to go through is to ensure that people who are applying are actually serious about this,
yeah.
really looking for a life partner, not just for some casual datings or hookups. So it is possible. It is very possible.
Yeah, I think I agree because, I mean, you never know what's gonna happen in the long run, but on the basis of establishing a long-term relationship through dating apps, I think if the procedure, like as you mentioned, which was very clear in that application, it was called Satipe.
Satipa.com.
Yeah, I think that process was very, very concise and to what it is expected.
thorough.
Yeah, very thorough as well. So in that case, I think long-term relationships are quite likely,
Possible.
yeah, and possible. And maybe it depends on Tinder and Bumble, maybe. But there, I think we all maybe read or once or twice some cases that they find relationships with Tinder or Bumble, and they end up marrying or having a family and whatnot. So how about you, Brad? Do you have any opinion?
For me, I have a friend who have a relationship through Bumble. I mean, dia udah berjalan 2 tahun from knowing this girl and stuff like that. For me, as long as we can communicate, we know boundaries, find the solving problems in between. Yeah, it's possible to work things out.
All right, so just one more question before we end this. So the question is, do you think you'll still use Bumble or any other dating apps in the future? I guess I'll start with myself. For me, at currently, I don't think so. I'm not gonna be using it, um, because, well, maybe right now I'm not interested in using those apps, but in the long run, for me personally, I don't think I'm gonna be using them. So how about you guys?
From me, I will not be using that kind of app again because um, I have I've had enough. I've had enough. The experience, the life experience of using that apps, you know.
How about you, Kak?
Well, since I'm married, of course, I have no use of using those apps anymore. But for those of you who are still single and still looking, and you plan to keep your options open, whatever choices it is that you want to use, online platform, non-online, conventional medium, always exercise safety behavior.
Yes. Yeah, I think also to add, I mean, if you use a platform like maybe like Bumble, you don't necessarily have to find someone to establish a relationship. Maybe you can find two friends, or maybe if you're shy, or you know you just want to talk to them online on an online basis. I think Bumble is, I think, a quite considerate application to use. But in terms of relationships, also, then again, you have to be very wary, and you have to be very cautious about what you might expect, because there has been lots of incidents and controversies that we everyone does not want to endure. So yeah, I think that concludes us for this podcast, the Buzzin Bunch. So for Brian, thank you for your time, and for Kaulan, thank you so much
Thank
for your
you, Kanda,
time.
for having us.
So yeah, that has been a collaboration between Brainwave and SASC, and I think it's time to end this podcast. So this has been Brainwave Media. We are the voice in your head, and also before that, we're gonna promote our Instagram. So you can follow us on Instagram on social media, which is at Brainwave Media. You can also follow my Instagram at FergaDZ. Maybe you guys want to promote your Instagram?
Sure. You can follow my Instagram, Brian Jordan triple N.
My well, maybe better follow SASC. Hang on, I kind of forgot. Oh, Peter's going to look at me like, oh, you forgot? Okay, it's at SASC underscore Senayan. Please follow us there, and it's one of the easiest way to access our services.
Yes, so please do follow all our social media if you are willing to do so. And if you follow those social media, you're going to be updated on the latest news regarding Brainwave Media and the activities we might endure. So there's going to be lots more to come. So make sure to follow us and stay tuned there. So this has been the Buzzin Bunch, and this has been Brainwave Media. We are the voice in your head. Thank you for listening.